We've all been there. You've got a beautiful, pricey brisket that's been smoking for hours. You've followed the recipe to the letter, you've kept the pellets topped off, and you've put all your faith in that digital temperature display. But when it's all said and done, you slice into dry, overcooked meat. So, what went wrong? Here's the frustrating truth. Your grill might be lying to you. The temperature on the screen and the actual heat hitting your food can be worlds apart, sometimes by 30 degrees or even more. This one sneaky issue is probably the biggest reason for inconsistent results. But don't worry, there's a simple way to take back control. Before you can trust your grill again, you need to trust your tools. And the key to getting those super consistent pitmaster level results is probably sitting in your kitchen drawer right now, a simple meat probe. But first, we have to make sure it's telling the truth. We're going to use a foolproof ice bath test to guarantee that probe is dead-on accurate. Seriously, this is the foundation for every great cookout from here on out. Don't skip this step. The most reliable way to check your meat probe is with an ice bath. Why? Because the freezing point of water is a constant, so it's a perfect baseline. First, grab a tall glass and pack it completely full of ice. If you have crushed ice, that's even better because it minimizes any gaps. Now, pour in just enough cold water to fill the spaces between the ice, stopping about a ½ inch from the top. You want a thick ice slurry, not just ice cubes floating around. Give it a good stir for about a minute to let the temperature get nice and stable. Now, stick your meat probe right into the middle of that ice bath. Make sure the tip isn't touching the sides or the bottom of the glass. Let it sit for at least 30 seconds to get a solid reading. A perfectly accurate probe will read 32 degrees. Now, don't panic if it's not perfect. A high-quality probe should be accurate to within a degree or two. However, some manufacturers, like Traeger, say their probes can have a much wider variance and still be considered functional, sometimes up to 15 degrees. If your probe is off by a few degrees and your grill has a calibration feature, a lot of Wi-Fi-enabled grills do, now's the time to use it. You can usually find an option in the menu to enter a temperature offset. If your probe is off by more than 15 degrees, though, it might be time to invest in a new one. All right, now that you know your probe is telling the truth, let's find out what your grill is really up to. It's very important to make sure both the meat probe and the grill's temperature sensor are clean to get an accurate reading. Go ahead and set your pellet grill to a classic smoking temp, say 165 to 225 degrees, and let it fully preheat and settle in. Now it's time to play detective. We need to measure the air temperature right where your food will actually be cooking. It's very important to make sure both the meat probe and the grill's temperature sensor are clean to get an accurate reading. Whatever you do, don't just lay the probe directly on the grates. Those metal grates hold heat differently than the air, and you'll get a false reading. The best way is to use a small grate clip to hang your calibrated probe about 1 to 2 inches above the cooking surface. If you don't have a clip, no sweat. You can crumple up a little ball of foil to rest it on, or, my favorite trick, just stick the probe through a potato or an onion to hold it steady. The goal is to make sure the tip is measuring the air, not a surface. Position the probe near the center of the grill first, and make sure it's at least a few inches away from the grill's own internal sensor, which is usually a little metal nub sticking out from a sidewall. Close the lid and give it a solid 15 minutes for the temperature to stabilize. Repeat this, moving the probe to the left, then the right side of the grate, and take note the temperature difference in each area. Okay, take a look. Compare the reading on your trusted meat probe to what your grill's controller is telling you. First things first, don't freak out if the numbers aren't identical. It's totally normal for pellet grills to have temperature swings and for the built-in thermometer to be off. A difference of 10, 30, or even 50 degrees is actually pretty common. It's all down to airflow, hot spots, and where the manufacturer decided to place that internal sensor. If you see a consistent difference, you've just armed yourself with mission-critical information. For example, if you set the grill to 250 degrees, but your probe is holding steady at 225 degrees, you now know your grill runs about 25 degrees cold. From now on, you can just set it 25 degrees higher to hit your actual target temperature. Some grills, like certain Broil King models, have advanced controllers that let you go into the settings and calibrate the grill itself with a temperature offset. This tells the grill's brain to adjust its reading to match the true temp. If your grill doesn't have that feature, a low-tech but equally effective solution is to just slap a piece of masking tape on your hopper that says runs 25 degrees cold. It works just as well. So, if this guide helped you finally get a handle on your grill's real personality, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. We drop videos like this every week to help you become a backyard hero. And I'm genuinely curious. Let me know in the comments what the temperature difference was on your grill. It's always fascinating to see how different brands perform. And that's it. In just a couple of simple steps, you've leveled up. You're no longer just blindly trusting a factory setting, you're cooking with real, validated data. Taking a few minutes to test your probe in an ice bath and then using it to learn your grill's quirks is the real secret to consistency. No more guessing, no more frustration, and best of all, no more ruined brisket. When you know exactly how your grill behaves, you can finally nail those perfect results you've been chasing, cook after cook.